In this video, I'm sharing about how to make more progress with what you're manifesting in the span of a few hours compared to what you might normally make over the course of a few months by doing something called a manifesting intensive. You are new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Adrianne. I'm a manifesting coach and intuitive guide, and on my channel, we talk about getting into the flow and manifesting with ease. So if that is something you're interested in, I invite you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to know when I publish new videos. So let's dive into this topic of how to manifest faster results with what I'm calling a manifesting intensive. But first I want to share the inspiration for this new idea. And to do that, I want to share a bit of a story or kind of a personal experience that comes from way back when I was in architecture school. And so when I was studying architecture school, we would have to do these big design projects that would be due at the end of the semester. So like designing a whole building, like a school or a church or whatever it is, we would need to create all the drawings and the models and everything for this giant project. And it would be due at the end of the semester. And so I would spend my time during the semester kind of steadily working on this project over the span of a few months or so. But what would inevitably always happen, and this wasn't just for me, but pretty much everyone in my design studio class, is that when it came to be the last week before our final review, when the project was due, we would need to pull a series of all-nighters, usually at least one, sometimes two, in order to finish this project and get it done, get it complete. And so I would spend like several hours in a row consecutively just working away on this project. It was a very common thing in architecture school for us to need to do this. Even like the guy that sat next to me in one of my studios, he had an espresso machine right at his desk so that we could enjoy, fancy caffeine at all hours of the day. But anyway, the thing was, this period of condensed focus right before the project was due, I found that I really kind of hit my stride during those all-nighters where all this additional clarity would happen around what I was wanting to create for my architecture project. I would be making decisions and I would be following through with them. It was like all this momentum and all this achievement happened in this short span of time because the project was due. And I mean, I know I'm not alone in this kind of experience. It's probably relatable for you, even if you didn't go to architecture school, which you probably didn't. You've probably also experienced this kind of experience where it's like you have a deadline and you have a thing that you're working on, and because of the focus, if you put intense focus to try to meet the deadline, you're able to make more progress in this short amount of time than you might have made in the longer span of time that you were working on the project. That was definitely the case for me, where it was like that last couple days of all-nighters, the project really came together and I made more progress in that amount of time versus the months that I spent previously working on the project. And so, why is that? We can kind of look at this from a law of attraction standpoint and a manifesting standpoint and kind of apply a similar concept to the achievement of a manifestation too, because there's some key elements that I think we can extract from this experience that could also be applicable to our manifesting practice. And those elements are, first of all, having a clear goal, like that deadline, that very clear, which is an intention, actually, that clear decision that I am going to finish my architecture project. That was what I was using in this past example. And then the other thing is the intensive focus of spending a consecutive amount of time focused on one topic, on one area. And that focus for an extended amount of time, that pure focus, is a powerful point of attraction. It's a powerful calling for additional insights, additional energy, additional momentum from the law of attraction that then, in the case of the architecture project, leads to greater clarity about the project and to decisions being made and progress happening, But in the case of like manifesting money or manifesting your SP or manifesting physical healing or whatever it is, then it would also lead to clarity and progress and momentum in those topics as well. So that's kind of the inspiration for the manifesting intensive and kind of where my idea for this came from. And so just to kind of back that up, I want to share a little quote from Abraham from the Law of Attraction, their book called The Law of Attraction. And it is, the more thought you give to something, the clearer you become. The clearer you become, the more positive emotion you feel, and the more power you attract. And so yeah, that just kind of highlights what I was just mentioning about how if you can get a sustained focus going over a period of time, you start to get this exponential effect from the law of attraction of more clarity, more positive emotion, and more manifesting power being drawn unto you, unto your point of focus. So let's talk about how to actually do this manifesting intensive. Basically, the whole goal of this intensive would be to find and activate and be able to sustain for an extended period of time the pure vibration of your desire. And so vibration basically means the pure feeling of your desire. So what it is like to have the desire, what it is like to have the money that you're wanting to manifest, or maybe it's a wonderful vacation that you want to go on. What it would be like to be on that vacation, what it would really be like to be in that dream home. And so this takes a level of discernment to recognize when you are actually in the pure vibration of your desire versus you're just thinking about your desire, but you're not actually in the feeling of it, in the vibration of it. And so let's talk a little bit more deeply about that. So what is a pure vibration? Basically, like I was just saying, this is the pure feeling of what it would be like to have the manifestation that you want. So let's use an example of manifesting money. You could be thinking about the topic of wanting more money, but you could be focused on that topic and be feeling the feelings and in the vibration of, I want more money because I'm stressed out because I can't pay my bills, or I'm feeling lack because there are these things that I would like to do that I can't do because I don't have the money, or I'm working at a job that I don't like because I don't have enough money to not work at that job. So like you could be thinking about the topic of money, but your vibration, because you're actually focused on these things that you don't want, that you want money to try to solve, these problems you want money to try to solve, your vibration is more about those problems or those reasons why you want the money, which are not actually the thing that you want. Those are more like what you want to move away from. The other way that this can get kind of a diluted vibration or not the helpful vibration that you want to be focusing on in this exercise is if you're thinking about the desire, you're trying to find the vibration, but you're feeling strong doubt or disbelief at the same time. And so you're trying to kind of fake it till you make it. That's another instance where you're not finding the pure vibration. So like in this example, if I'm finding the pure vibration of more money, because money is kind of a neutral substance, it can be used for so many different things in our lives that it could really be about many different things for different people. So maybe for me, it's about a sense of freedom. It's about wanting to be able to make more choices and wanting to be able to express myself more freely in my life through making exactly the choices that I want to make. And so the pure vibration for me, for this topic of money, if that was true, would be finding this feeling of great freedom and just like this sense of lightness and the sense of being empowered to make the choices that I want to make, and then being able to feel that energy and that vibration as connected to money. That would be the pure vibration of my desire around money versus the examples that I gave earlier. Or to use another popular topic of manifestation, like say you want to manifest your SP or your specific person that you want to be in a relationship with. If you are trying to find the pure vibration of being with SP but you're doing that from a sense of loneliness, or you're doing it from a sense of feeling unsure if this person is going to reciprocate your feelings or something like that, then the vibration isn't pure in that case. The vibration is about what you want and about what you don't want at the same time, versus a pure vibration on that topic would be more like focusing on what it will feel like to just have this relationship, to be in this loving relationship that you really desire. So what will be the real feelings of that? Maybe it'll be things like feeling totally comfortable, feeling totally relaxed and happy with this person, or it might be feeling this passion or this excitement or this enthusiasm to share wonderful experiences with this person. So basically, the finding the pure vibration goal of this manifesting intensive is just figuring out what that true, authentic feeling of the desire fulfilled is for you. And sometimes they get the question from coaching clients of, how do I know what the vibration of my desire is if it's something that I've never manifested before, if it's an experience I've never had? How do I know what it's going to feel like? And what I always say, and what I think about for myself too, is even if it's something that I've never experienced, there's a part of me that knows already what that experience is like, and that's my inner being, that's my higher self. As Abraham and other manifesting teachers tell us, whenever we ask, it is given, and that source energy, that inner being, higher self part of us becomes the vibration of our desire and calls us to that vibration. That's what our emotions are all about. That's what our emotional guidance system is, basically. And so we do have a part of us that knows the vibration, the pure vibration of our desire. And so by using our imagination and just kind of postulating what we imagine it will feel like to be with SP, or be manifesting the money that we desire, or going on the dream vacation, or whatever it is, we just point our focus there, use imagination, and then we get feedback from our emotional guidance system, from our inner being, from our higher self, to let us know how close we are to matching that pure vibration. All right, so I have a little 5-step process for how to do this manifesting intensive. So step 1 is set a powerful intention for your manifesting intensive. So this is kind of like what I was doing when I was working on my architecture projects, and I sat down at my studio desk and I looked at all this pile of empty pages and that I was going to need to fill up with drawings and this balsa wood that I had bought to make models, and I told myself, okay, over the next 48 hours, all this is going to get done. I'm going to have this completed project. So in sort of a similar way, for the manifesting intensive, you can set a powerful intention with yourself by saying something like, over the next 90 minutes or over the next 3 hours or however much time you're going to devote to this process, you can say, I am going to learn the vibration of what it's like to be married to SP, or what it's like to make $10,000 a month in my business, or what it's like to have radiant physical health. So whatever the topic of manifestation is, you're just going to set your intention that over this span of time that you've dedicated, you're going to do your best to learn the vibration, that that's your intention, that's your goal. And then step 2 is use your imagination to find the pure vibration, to find the feeling of your desire. So then you just get started in whatever way you like to use to work with your imagination. Some people really like journaling. I often find that writing helps me focus my attention a little more easily. So I will honestly use a combination of creative visualization and journaling most of the time. Like, I might journal out a question or a topic, and then I'll close my eyes and kind of imagine what that topic of manifestation really feels like, and then I'll start writing down some of those answers. Like, if I was focused on manifesting money, I might journal, what does it feel like for money to manifest naturally, easily, and abundantly? That's one I often use. And then I'll tune in, I'll close my eyes and I'll feel, what would that feel like? And then I'll write down something like, it feels really pleasurable, or it feels really good, it feels really relaxing, or it makes me feel really happy. Just simple things like that, where I'm just helping myself to focus, to imagine, and to then activate those feelings and practice that vibration of the pure vibration of the intention of the desired manifestation. And then step 3 is release resistance as necessary. So it could happen that as you attempt this kind of an exercise, you might find that right out the gate, you're able to find the pure vibration of your desire relatively easily. Or this could definitely also be the case that it feels kind of tricky and you find that you're having negative thoughts or resistant thoughts or doubt or other kind of feelings like that get triggered by this practice. And so, like we talked about at the beginning, it's important to recognize when those kind of thoughts and feelings are coming in and you're not easily able to let them go and release them, because you don't want to kind of power through those negative thoughts and try to like overcome them or push through them necessarily, because then you're just kind of activating the vibration of the resistance and kind of adding more power and momentum to that, which is the opposite of what we want to do. And so when you notice that there's still some strong resistance happening that you're not able to easily release, you want to do some kind of resistance releasing practice to help to release that and be able to refocus back on the pure vibration of the desire. And so, for example, some of those processes could be like a focus wheel, which I will link up on the screen. I have a really detailed video about how to do one of those. That can be a really helpful practice. Also, I really like recently Abraham's moving up the emotional scale process. I'd like to make a video about that in the future, but that's definitely in their books, in the Asking It Is Given book. That is a really great process. Basically there's many tools for releasing resistance and kind of working through it, but you want to just be sensitive to that and make sure that if resistance gets triggered by this exercise, that you're addressing it, you're doing things to soothe that resistance instead of trying to power through and like affirm on top of it, or like letting that tension remain and then kind of practicing that diluted vibration versus the pure vibration of the desire, which is what we're wanting to hone in on and bring more focus and manifesting momentum toward. And then step 4 is seek to enjoy the feeling, the pure vibration of the desire as much as possible. So basically, once you've been able to hone in and find the pure vibration of your desire, you just want to see how long you could maintain it. You just want to kind of milk it and savor it and enjoy it and just like saturate your energy field with it and kind of practice it. Let it become more and more like a normal part of who you are. The minimum that you want to do this would be 68 seconds. That's the number that Abraham gives us for how long it takes for a pure focus to then cause changes in the external world. So that's like the minimum. But the longer you can enjoyably maintain this focus, the more normal the vibration of your desire is going to be feeling to you, the more you're going to entrain yourself to it, and the more you're going to be able to shift your vibration into alignment with this vibration of the desire and cause a stronger activation from the law of attraction, and also get like an intensive experience of the vibration for yourself, so that when you're done with this exercise, it's going to be easier to kind of tune back into it and maintain it and shift more fully into this as your habit, because that's what you really need to do to fully manifest the desire. Is this needs to become more of your habit, more of your habitual way of thinking about the topic, is more this in this pure vibration of the manifestation. That's what causes it to manifest. And then finally, step 5 is continue until you feel the click of completion. All right, so this is a really great benchmark to shoot for if you are doing this kind of an exercise or any kind of creative visualization or activating the vibration, practicing the feeling of your desire, is to go for what I would call the click of completion. And what I mean by this is that you want to be so enjoying and savoring and feeling the feelings of what it would be like to manifest your desire, that you feel this sense of completion, you feel this sense of deep satisfaction, of like joy, and of just completion's really the best word. Like where it just feels so good just to purely imagine it. You feel kind of complete in just this imaginal experience that you honestly feel like you don't even really need it to happen in the physical world, because it feels so good. You're feeling so in the energy of it just in imagination. When you feel that kind of a sense of completion, that click of completion, as I would call it, then that means you've totally shifted over. You've become a match in that moment as you're able to feel that feeling where you are the vibration now. That's why you feel that sense of completion, that sense of not even needing it to happen, because it's so happened energetically, and you feel that deep satisfaction in that realization. And so that's a super powerful manifesting state. Whenever I've been able to achieve that kind of a state, there is always a sign, at the least a sign, and sometimes also the full manifestation that happens on the heels of that kind of a feeling. So those are my thoughts and ideas about how to speed up manifestation by doing this practice that I'm calling a manifesting intensive. And I just want to thank the person that kind of asked me to do a video on this topic. And yeah, if you have further questions about this topic, or you would like me to talk more fully about it, then definitely leave a comment down below if you have questions about what I covered, or if you have any other suggestions for video ideas. I always love to receive those, and yeah, take those into consideration for what I'm planning to create for this channel. So definitely also either leave a comment below or send me a message with your ideas about that as well. And if you would like more manifesting tips and tricks and inspiration from me, then I definitely recommend downloading my free guide to the 7 Habits of Highly Magical People. I have a link to this in the description box below this video, so you can check it out if you're interested. And also, if you would like more information about my coaching services, psychic readings, other offerings that I have available right now, I've also put links to learn all about these in the description box below the video as well. Thank you so much for joining me today for this video. If you enjoyed this topic, I definitely recommend checking out this next video all about instant manifestation. This video also covers that feeling of the click of completion, which is super helpful for greatly speeding up manifestation. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy manifesting.